Well, Jim, it's getting hot in here. The spelling of that might be a little different from what you might think there, but thanks for joining us today.
Always a pleasure to be with you. Always a pleasure. I enjoy it.
Great.
This is actually fairly subdued for you.
Yeah, well,
that's great. I like the purple. We did a good job.
We did. We, brother from another mother going on here. So, there's a reason for the subdued look. You know, we did the haute couture line this time around.
Very nice.
We kept it nice and hot. So here with Cake, we are doing our anterior segment Cake Talks today, while at Uretna we did our Pie Talks. So
funny. That's great.
Good stuff.
That's great.
So, Jim, we just came from the Zeiss press conference.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
And, there was a lot of hot things going on there. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I think what we were trying to describe at our press breakfast is we're introducing, I believe, over 7 new products at this conference, which is great. But what we're trying to say, though, is just launching technology is no longer the paradigm that says you're the great company. It's the applicability of the technology to making the physician more productive. So I'm saying we're going to do a paradigm shift at Zeiss, in that the technology is actually the vehicle to make the practitioner more efficient. Digitalization, data-driven decision-making, quick decision-making, you saw it. That's the critical component, and that's what you're seeing at Zeiss.
So if you kind of thought about Zeiss as a fashion house here in Paris, and you were rolling out the next haute couture off the line, what kinds of products would you consider most hot at Zeiss right now?
Well, think about, I'm going to use your analogy. I love it. Look at your outfit. You're tall, you're a good-looking guy, you can wear something like that.
Okay.
But is it applicable for everyone?
Yeah.
The answer is no. And is every technology applicable for everyone? The answer is no. So what we have, by having diagnostics to treatments, we actually are now conforming our business to each practice type. You have consolidation going on with private equity. They're looking for different ways to understand how they can improve their bottom line.
Yeah.
You have a consumer who pays for the refractive. They are looking for a lifestyle change.
Right.
So if you just think one cookie cutter approach, just one design doesn't fit. You have to have multiple designs. Look at this background. You have multiple designs. So
the people up there, no?
Definitely, especially this dude. But the fashion industry sometimes dictates this is the new design, everybody gravitates to it. Might look good on that model as she walks down or he walks down, but doesn't fit everybody. Our job now is to flip the technology, and that the constant is the information, the machinery, the vehicle is conducive to the individual practice.
Well, talking about trends here, Jim, last year we sat here and we talked a little bit about AI. We heard a little bit about robotic surgery at the Ophthalmology Futures this time around. But when you stare into that crystal ball of yours and you're having to think about the threads of the future, what do you see?
Well, I will tell you that I think that the real thread of the future is what we were talking about a little earlier today and what you saw at the press breakfast. The thread of the future will be a physician making an informed decision while he is doing surgery or right before surgery. If you look at surgeries today, these great physicians, and God bless them because they have just done things that are fantastic, a lot of them are making decisions on the go because they don't have the information walking in.
Yeah.
We want to provide information you walking in. The other thing is that we also...
A runway?
A runway. Nicely done.
Nice.
Nicely done. A runway. Also, think about our Artivo 800. You heard Dr. Ayers talk about today that in the past, he would not have been able to see some of the things he was doing. He literally admitted that it's something that took him, a couple hours, took him 5 minutes.
Right.
Okay, so the thread that's going to be, the runway that's going to be the future is we're going to be able to allow them to make more informed decisions through proper diagnosis, proper information, and a vehicle for them to actually see, not just looking at oculars, having a brand new type of screen effect where they're seeing more to the eye than what they're used to. And again, it all goes back to my point. More patients, less doctors is not a formula for success for outcomes. So how do we make these physicians, these tremendous physicians that you send great information through your vehicle, more productive, better information, better diagnostics, and being able to see things in a much better, quote unquote, light than they had in the past.
Well, being that your retina has kind of crossed over here to ESCRS now, what kind of crossover issues do you see at Zeiss in terms of helping surgeons? Do you see, for example, some of the serous crossing over from the anterior to the posterior segment to help both types of surgeons?
Well, actually, I think that's the strength of Zeiss. I mean, I'm going to be a little prejudiced, but I'll tell you that we're the only company that diagnoses and treats. So if you're only a treatment company, you're basically going to kind of force fit your products without a diagnostic. So we're going to let the diagnostic lead it. You saw the doctor talk about, I think it was Paul, who talked about the glaucoma workplace. Right. If you remember what he showed that we're able to show green, yellow, red. We're able to show the information that he has accessible. He can now dictate his decision making for that for that patient, excuse me. That is no different for a retinal disease to a glaucoma disease to a cataract disease. Again, my simple message is we have to make these physicians better informed. Right. And better information will make a better predictive outcome. Governments are not going to allow new technologies to enter the workplace unless they make them more productive. They're not able to afford new technologies unless they're showing something that makes these great physicians more productive. What you put in your great journal, and I do commend you, it's a great journal. You know, if you've looked at your journal over the last 1 or 2 years, it's changing what you're talking about. Now, of course, you have designs to add to the flavor, but you're talking more about actually using information to make informed decisions. I mean, I was reading your journal, I've read your journals, more information, but not an overload, but a simple approach to get that information is what's critical.
And you know, whenever you step up onto the podium, you've got a different presence, you know, than other KOLs in the industry. If you could give some tips on, you know, to up-and-comers, whether they be ophthalmic KOLs or what have you. But I think when it comes to your particular breed of haute couture, it's presence. Speak to that a little bit.
Well, you know, first off, I think at the end of the day, and I will tell you the same compliment to you, and thank you for the compliment, you have to love what you do, right?
Yeah.
And I absolutely love this industry. It's been great to me for 40 years. And so I will tell you every day, I thank that I'm in this industry. I talked to Lori, who does a great job and runs our communication, and I get chills to still think about that. I know that we're a technology helping a physician have somebody see better. How cool is that? Yeah. So when you talk about something that I would tell any future person in any industry, you got to love what you do. So it's not a job, it's passion. And I really love what I do. Sure, you get frustrated, but at the end of the day, I know that we're doing something to help somebody's grandmother, somebody's aunt, somebody's uncle see better. I will tell you, if I don't have the passion, I'm going to leave. And right. You hear that, by the way, just to build on it, you hear that a lot of times in athletics too, where they said, I've lost the ability, I've lost the passion, I'm going to retire.
Yeah.
And then you have, great athletes who stay on because they haven't lost the ability and they haven't lost the passion. So don't lose the passion.
Well, and then you got guys showing up in fruit suits 2 years ago, and it speaks to another kind of passion. But, nonetheless, I remember a simple statement you made 2 years ago. You simply said when we walked in the room, we need this. And it seems like you would agree that although, ophthalmic products are always innovative, the way to communicate about those needs to change.
What I like about your periodicals, first off, there's a lot of periodicals. You have a lot of competitors, we have a lot of competitors. So what's our point of differentiation? Your point of differentiation, our point of differentiation, they want to make a decision pretty quick. They're going to make it by what's new.
Yeah.
Not just what's new from a standpoint of technology, but is there a new message? And then you had a lot of fun too. Life gets a little boring in any industry. And I like what you do, and hopefully we do the same. We add a little fun to life. We just had our celebration of 20 years of the IOL Master. Okay, right. 20 years, which sets the stage for cataract technology. And we're giving a donation to a blind mission, thanking them. But we also had a little fun with it too. Right. We had 3 physicians because people have to make a decision what they're going to do. Are they going to read your periodical on the plane? Are they going to take time out of the day to read their periodical? Not if they're going to not enjoy it. It can't just be pure science. There's got to be a little fun to it. And that's again, that passion. And you do a great job on it. You always, I will tell you today, I told Lori, I came today wondering what you were going to be dressed in.
Right.
I have to tell you
said from the moment you woke up this
that's
morning.
a compliment because I really was wondering what you were going to do to make my day better.
Okay, fair.
And you did.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, if you ever come to Vietnam, Jim, I've got a few tailors that can help you with that tie.
Well, like I said, not everything can match. I don't think I could look good in that outfit. You could look good in that outfit. I mean, I don't have the face like you. I have this giant Italian nose. That won't look good. But I'll just wear this nice purple tie. I don't have the great shoes. But again, you can take it off. I can't.
Well, Jim, thanks for joining us. You work in your realm of couture. We'll work in ours, and we'll keep rocking and rolling around the world of ophthalmology. Thanks for joining, brother.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Cheers.